So in our last video, we looked at the equation y is equal to 2x plus 1. And today we're going to examine how to prove that 1 is actually the y-intercept. Now, last time we looked at the slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. And we just kind of matched it up. We said, well, this 1 kind of matches up with the b. X, of course, matches up with x. The 2, which is the slope, matches up with m, slope. And then y, of course, matches up with y. But how do you actually prove that that 1 is the y-intercept? So what we're going to do is we'll just start off by plotting out the linear equation. And we'll start by drawing our x and y axis. So here's our x-axis. And then here's our y-axis. And last time we said that our y-intercept is 1, and we have an ordered pair of 0, 1, and we rose up 2 spots to 3, and we ran 1 because that's what our slope is telling us to do. This point right here is 1, 3. And we drew out our linear equation. So that's a little review of what we did last time. But again, how do we prove that 1 is actually the y-intercept? Well, let's look at what's happening on the y-axis. Well, every one of these points, well, let's look at the ordered pair. So let's look at this point. Now, this point is actually not on the linear equation. That ordered pair is actually 0, 3. And let's go up a couple more. This is 4, this is 5. Well, this would be what? 0, 5. And we can go in the negative direction right here. This would be -1. What's the ordered pair for this point right here? This would be 0, -1. And we can go down a couple more. Go to -4. And this would be 0, -4. And you can see where I'm going with this. No matter what point I put on the y-axis, it's always going to be 0 in the x. And that seems obvious, but for whatever reason, it's not as intuitive as you might think. So to find the point at which our linear equation crosses the y-axis, we want to set x to 0. And you can see all of these points that are on, all these ordered pairs listed here all have x equal to 0. So we're going to say for x equals 0, what is our y value going to be? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 0, we're going to plug it into our linear equation, which would be right here. And so we're going to rewrite that. We're going to say y is equal to 2 times, instead of x, we're going to say 0 plus 1. And so this becomes y is equal to 0 plus 1. And finally, we get y is equal to 1. And so what does that mean? It means if we plug 0 into our function, then it spits out a value of 1. And so we can match up the 0 and 1 together. So we can look at it together as an ordered pair. And we see that is 0, 1. And again, any ordered pair is an x value and a y value. And this 0, 1 is represented right here on the linear equation. And that's how you prove that 1 is the y-intercept.